crime wave in Gotham. Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
Coming up, more problems for a troubled
Earthquake.
skater. Yep,
We're having an earthquake.
Breaking into homes and tickling people.
Fans quickly trashed his pantsless look on social media.
Also, in other news,
The whistles got woo!
He was murdered and then set on fire while celebrating his birthday.
He's on the lean and the mouth.
I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
He thought the car was a spaceship and that the driver was an alien.
He lost his life savings, $2,600, and all he has to show for it is this stuffed banana with dreadlocks.
I almost called an audible just now with this story.
The Tim Murphy story?
No, not the Tim. Man, if you are...
It's a rough day for old Tim Murphy.
If you are at your cubicle or you got your Twitter machine open, just go ahead and throw Tim Murphy into your search.
Yeah, this is.
No. You're gonna do it to him now? Here, let's do it after in other news. let's just hold off on old Timmy. Timmy. Yeah. Uh-oh.
All right, I'm gonna.
So go first. Go first.
So this is the honest truth here. I don't understand the Longhorn Bull thing in Texas and Oklahoma.
Hook 'em horns.
Because I don't. Do you? They're not food, right?
The big bovines.
And you don't ride them in no, not like that. In rodeos.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know why people keep longhorns.
This is one of the subjects I am very ignorant.
Okay. A longhorn bull with a record horn span of more than 8 feet.
It's like the Jordan Wings poster.
Yes, it's a record. A record horn span.
An Allen horn span
has been sold. Is he rationally exuberant about this? It's been sold at the Fort Worth Stockyards.
Okay, can I
plus or minus $20,000, and fellas? I will give you a prize.
All right, fellas, we're gonna get a prize from Swaggy B over here. Plus or minus $20,000 for a longhorn, a record horn size
horn
span
on a longhorn bull.
All right, I'm going to go. Since he said plus or minus 20, I'm gonna go. A record too. I'm gonna go 247. 247 grand.
Okay.
Shep?
350.
350? And give us a $1 here, Tanny.
Damn it.
I'm sorry. Tanny goes $1.
I didn't say closest to or
right,
without going over.
Give us a real one, Tanny.
300.
You're all losers. It's $165,000.
Well, then I'm the winner because I'm closest.
I didn't say closest. I said you had to get within plus or minus $20,000.
So how much?
$165,000. And I guess if you know anything about Texas ranching, someone's going to have to explain why you want. They said they're going to put them out to stud.
So you don't eat them, you don't ride them, you don't. You let them.
I don't know.
Well, damn it, you gotta have some background on the story.
I don't know anything about ranching.
This is going great.
That's all. I just wanted to see if you could estimate. That's it.
You didn't give me any background on bovine status? Come on.
Hot metrics?
Yeah, I need some. I need war on the bovine status of your record longhorn span or whatever the hell you were talking about. All right, fine. Dan Bernstein, the beginning of this baseball season, we talked about pace of play an awful lot. Mm-hmm. Well, SportsIllustrated.com has this for us from Scooby Axon. Don't believe that person exists, but shout out to Scoop for getting some other entryways into writing about other things. Despite attempts to speed up the game, the average length of a 9-inning baseball game rose nearly 4.5 minutes, the commissioner's office said. It took a record 3 hours and 5 minutes and 11 seconds to complete a baseball game, up from 3 hours and 42 seconds last year.
It's going in the wrong direction.
Despite that number, the amount of replays in the majors dropped, as well as the percentage of overturned calls. There were 1,395 video reviews, and 660 of those were overturned, a rate of nearly 48%. Among those, 318 replays confirmed the original call that was on the field, and just over 28% of the case, the call stood because there was not enough video evidence for it to be overturned. Last season, 50% of the reviews were overturned, while 23% of the calls were confirmed based on the ruling on the field. The Players Union rejected 3 proposals at the end of last season that would have helped with the pace of the game, limiting catchers to 1 trip to the mound per pitcher in each inning, installing a 20 20-second pitch clock and raising the bottom of the strike zone to the top of the kneecap, MLB can still institute those rules without the union's approval for next season. So now that we have this information, how do you think this will affect baseball going forward? Because if
I don't think they're going to choose to
everything
unilaterally implement all of them, though. I think there's enough strikeouts.
1 or 2.
I don't think you need more strikeouts.
So no raising the strike zone?
I would say just keep guys from wandering away from the batter's box in between every pitch.
Do you think that's still happening too much?
I think guys can stand in.
It's not old school where guys are going 4 feet away and getting their swings in. Guys got 1 foot in, and it's up to the pitcher to throw that ball. I'm all for a pitcher shot clock. I think those high pressure moments would become a lot more pressurized if you look back, or if it's right there next to you and it's going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you haven't gotten into your delivery yet.
And base runners gaming it. It's sort of like the
it's
the unintended consequence on the stoplights, how they have pedestrian timing now.
Yes.
So I
some
know
of them will get you though, because some will get you with that 1-0 and then the hand blinks, and you're like, all right, I just got a $100 red light camera flying.
Here's the thing: like where I live on that stretch of Waveland.
Oh, that's
right. It's a one way.
Tune it up.
When I come out of the alley and I turn onto Waveland and I'm trying to get to Western or past Western, there are 2 speed bumps. And I'll see it. It'll be at like. It'll be at 12.
I'm gonna go ahead and dump that for you, so people won't know the coordinates. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But it'll be there are two speed bumps, and I can see that pedestrian timer at 12. I'm like,
you know what you got to do. You're checking to see how much how that 0 to 60 if it's really true.
What's in the trunk? I'm thinking if it jostles around a little bit, right? No, but if there's like a bottle of wine in the trunk, maybe I'm not going to try to do it. But if it's just Jason's
if you got
hockey
pressured
gear,
cargo,
right?
I got you.
I'm good, but see what that's going to happen if you have a pitch.
Isn't that every man though?
But if you have a pitch clock like that. You're going to have somebody keep an eye out like in 3, 2, bye, right?
Your man from the Reds, who's the skinny fellow from the Reds that always gets the stolen bases but can't get on first base.
Billy Hamilton?
Yeah, Billy Hamilton.
But the guy can still throw over, too. It just adds something different to the game. All right, but that's not why you called.
That's not what you called.
I don't know if you saw Steven Seagal last week, who was weighing in with everything that was going on in the world. And a tweet that had me laughing out loud all day. And it was regarding the current look of Steven Seagal and how he spends his time cursing the wizard, cursing the wizard who cast a spell that was slowly turning him into an owl.
Dude.
Because he's starting to look like an owl. Either way, now Steven Seagal is 65, and George Foreman on Twitter,
by the way,
George is 68. And George said,
another Trump All Lives Matter dude, too.
George Foreman said, Steven Seagal, I challenge you one-on-one. I use boxing. You can use whatever. 10 rounds in Vegas, no weapons, hand-to-hand only. So what do you think?
Those girls ain't moving like they used to. George owes the IRS some money or something. I thought you were going to actually get to the audio of that visit where he's got like Moscow in the background and he says Vladimir Putin. He says it in such a way where it's like, dude, like you're being weird. Right?
Are you okay?
You're being weird.
Vladimir Putin. Yeah, I was like, huh? What?
So on a serious note, after the Vegas shooting, there's been a lot of pieces written in, a lot of people chiming in, and this isn't even about gun control or anything like that, but this is how things get washed out of history, and maybe you don't get taught them in your U.S. history classes, or hell, for that matter, your African-American history classes. But Joe Madison from Sirius XM tweeted this out today, and he tweeted it at NBC News, Fox News, ABC, CNN, and he says, in every other news media outlet, don't you ever say the Las Vegas shooting is the largest mass shooting in U.S. history. Says Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. And as a kid, I studied Black Wall Street, and I forgot about this incident where over 300 people were shot and killed by the police in 24 hours of barricading and high purchase when there was a race riot. The white town pretty much went over to where Black Wall Street was, and the sheriff and all local politicians aided and abetted in it. 300 people.
Never heard of this.
Yeah. Well, have you ever heard of Black Wall Street?
No.
Is pretty much a self-contained economy in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Where pretty much the richest African Americans had pretty much put their roots down in Tulsa and just sustained an economy. And it says on June 1st, 1921, chaos erupted in the Greenwood district of downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma, a segregated area at the time which was widely known as Black Wall Street. Anger ensued among the city's white residents after rumors began to spread about an encounter a young black man, Dick Rowland, had with a white woman, Sarah Page, just 2 days prior.
Same rationale as Emmett Till. Right?
Details on the exact moments that led up to the riot vary. However, an archived article in the Chicago Tribune recounts one telling on May 30th, 1921, a 19-year-old black shoeshine man named Dick Rowland entered the Drexel building downtown to use the segregated restroom. While approaching the elevator, which apparently hadn't stopped evenly with the floor, Rowland tripped and fell on the operator, a 17-year-old white girl named Sarah Page. The girl screamed, drawing the attention of onlookers who yelled rape. Rowland was subsequently arrested the same day. An egregious article in the town's newspaper called for his lynching. There was actually columnists saying he should be lynched. This led to an armed standoff at the courthouse between a white mob that came to kill Rowland and an outnumbered group of black residents who arrived to help protect him but were eventually forced to retreat. Chaos continued over the next 12 hours or so, and flames engulfed many parts of the black occupied areas of Greenwood. White rioters ransacked the town as they went on a shooting and looting rampage, attacking its black residents. In the 24 hours after it left the city in ruins, 800 people were injured, and it claims to close to 300 people were killed due to those injuries. So these are those moments where history speaks on things, and then people dig other things up and say, hey, don't forget that this is a part of American history as well.
And I got my answer regarding Longhorns.
Okay.
This is from a listener via Twitter in Austin. He said, Longhorns have literally no purpose. Here in Austin, you can get an agricultural property tax exemption for them, but they do nothing. You can't eat them. If it weren't for the Texas Longhorns, they would have no value. As it stands, they're everywhere. They used to be working animals, but now we have machines that do this. They're just a tax break. Great.
Well, there it is. Great success by the Texas Longhorns as a university for saving this animal. I don't know if it's helping with the methane that is going into the air, but hey, whatever.